Good evening, lovely people. This is Engineer Lomote, your favorite structural engineer. Today, I want to talk about how to build in clay. So, in my previous video, I did talk about cracks and I did mention about clay. But today, I want to go into details what a clay soil is. So we have um, types of soil. We have the clay soil, you have the loamy soil, you have the sandy soil. And then we have classification of soil too. We have where we have um, sandy clay, gravelly sand, those classification. A mixture of gravel and sand, a mixture of clay and sand, a mixture of that kind of way. But today I want to talk about clay. You realize that most of our soil, okay, contains clay and silt. Now the clay component of our soil is very crucial when it comes to construction. When you are building on clay, there are some things you need to know. You don't just build in clay. Unlike sand and laterite and gravelly soil type, okay, for clay, when you want to build in clay, you need to understand some of the properties of clay that will influence you, that will make you know what you are doing, the type of foundation you should do. Now so clay soil, as we know, it has the potential to absorb water, and it has that same potential to also lose water. Now when it absorbs water, it swells. When it loses water, it shrinks. So let's understand this concept. If you put an object on a body or on a system that has the potential to lose soil, to lose water, and then to also gain water, and as it loses water, it shrinks. It means that the object that is on that system will come down, and when it swells, when it absorbs water, the object will go up. Now let's relate this concept to buildings. You know, building is a rigid system. It's a rigid system, you understand? So if what it has been built on has that potential to swell and then to also shrink, okay, changes in volume, then it means that that building that is lying that is sitting on that soil will suffer what we call cracks, will suffer movement, and some of these things can even lead to structural failure. So because clay has that ability to lose soil and also to gain soil, depending on the weather condition, depending on the season, okay, there's a need for us to know the type of foundation we need to apply. Now another thing too I want to draw your attention to is that so during what's the name, rainy season, okay, assuming where your site is, where you want to build your structure, there are a lot of trees, okay. You know, during the rainy season, this clay has that ability to absorb a lot of water, and then when it absorbs the water and all the pores get filled up, the excess water goes as runoff, into other areas. Now, the surrounding trees, okay, will now absorb water from this clay, because the clay is containing water. It has stored some water in its pores. The surrounding trees will also take water from this clay during the normal weather condition. You understand? So when it comes, that means that the clay soil is losing water. As it is losing water, it will start to shrink. Okay, so this concept to also influence the depth of foundation that we have to go when we are putting up the structure. So when when you are building and there are trees there, you have to do what we call reconnaissance survey to know the type of tree, the depth that the root has gone below ground level. Once you know the depth that root can go, you have to put your foundation below that depth. The reason is that when you put your foundation below that depth, it means that whatever thing that is affecting the clay soil, okay, will not affect your building, because you have placed it below the root of the foundation, the root of the tree. You have placed the foundation below the root of the surrounding trees. So that excess water or regaining of water or losing water will not affect your foundation. This is something that we should know. Now, depending on the how do you call it, the levels of the structure. Levels here mean the number of story that you are going. You understand? You have to engage what we call geotechnical engineer. So the geotechnical engineer will conduct what we call soil tests to know the appropriate foundation to construct for that building. So here I'm giving you a general knowledge about clay, so that when you are starting your project and then you realize that the place is clayey, okay, you will know what to do. Even if you're a lay person, you will know what to do. Okay, now most of the times when we are building in clay, when we have gone we've gone below the ground level, or we've placed our foundation at an appropriate depth, there's a need for us also to introduce what we call ground beams. So please take note. The depth of foundation is very important. That one will be determined by the surrounding trees. If the place is clayey, okay, so if where your site is there are trees around, please don't place your foundation at a depth that is above the depth of the roots of the tree. The depth of the foundation has to go below the depth of the tree. In that case, you will not have any problem with foundation. You will not experience heavy cracks in your building. The second thing is that you have to make sure that your builder introduces what we call ground beams or tie beams, so that when you don't even place your foundation at the appropriate depth, your building will stand when those what's the name, shrinking and then swelling processes are being taking place. Your building will still stand, because you have introduced what we call ground beam. So please take note. All that I'm saying is that when you are building in clay soil, some people when they see clay soil, they don't even know. But if you happen to know what a clay soil is, and then you realize that your site is clay, okay, and depending on the the number of story you are going to build, there's a need for you to engage a geotechnical engineer to do what we call soil test and advise you accordingly. Now, if you are just building, let's say, a normal level or 1-story building, and you cannot afford the services of a geotechnical engineer, make sure that the depth at which you place your foundation is below the depth of the roots of the surrounding trees on your site. And then also make sure that you introduce ground beams to take care of some of this movement. So for today, this is what I want to discuss. So thank you so much, and I'll take this opportunity also to ask you to subscribe to this channel so that you get more of these videos. Thank you so much.